Hi, welcome back to Story Library with Mrs. Brooks. This is a very special story. It is given to you today with permission from Lerner Publishing Company. It is written by Michael Foreman. But before I start, I want to give you the backstory details, so bear with me. I have to read it. In 1917, with World War I already underway, a stray dog, this is a photograph of him, wandered into an army training session in Connecticut looking for scraps of food. The soldiers named him Stubby. Corporal Robert Conroy took to him immediately, and the pair soon became inseparable. On the front line, Stubby performed many heroic deeds. He would bark warnings to the soldiers of incoming raids or gas attacks, which he could always sense before them. He would patrol for rats and to find wounded on the battlefield. After the unit helped to liberate, the local woman made Stubby his very own uniform. On November 11th, 1918, an armistice was declared and the fighting was over. The entire Yankee division declared Stubby as their mascot, and when President Woodrow Wilson visited them in France on Christmas Day 1918, he met Stubby and shook his paw. After the war, Stubby returned to the United States with Conroy, leading the 102nd Regiment of the Yankee Division in the Boston Victory Parade on April 25, 1919. Stubby enjoyed fame and recognition. He even visited the White House twice, where he met two U.S. presidents, President Harding and President Coolidge. In 1926, Stubby died peacefully of old age in Conroy's arms, friends forever. So this book is about Stubby, this little doggy right here in this picture, and I'm going to read to you. It's called Stubby, A True Story of Friendship. And I thought you would like this story. And it's by Michael Foreman, and it's with permission from the Lerner Publishing Company. It's hard work being a soldier, marching every day, getting ready to go to war. But I'm told my country needs me. This war is far away, on the other side of the ocean. But soon we will have to cross that ocean and help to win it. We are woken up every morning by a toot 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 on a bugle for yet another day of marching and shooting practice. My favorite bugle call is the one that means grubs up, come and get it. The smell of cooking seems to attract all the stray dogs from miles around. One dog in particular seems to find me every time. I settle down to my sausage and potatoes. He is an odd little dog with a flat face and short legs. I decide to call him Stubby. And there he is. Now Stubby follows me everywhere. The other soldiers laugh when they see him marching along beside us. I teach him to sit up and beg for his food, and to sit up and salute when he sees an officer. The officers like him too. Stubby seems like one of us now. I know I will miss him when we go off to war. Well, that day has arrived. We march to the train station and begin to climb aboard. Stubby has marched with us, of course, and he looks up into my eyes. I can't resist picking him up to hug him goodbye. One of the officers smiles and gives me a wink. I pop Stubby into my carriage with the other men, and Stubby gives the officers a salute. At first, Stubby seems alarmed by the rattle of the train and the countryside whooshing past the windows, but we share our food with him, and he begins to enjoy himself. The troop ship Minnesota is huge and towers over us. As we begin to board, I wrap Stubby in a blanket, and a group of us smuggle him onto the ship. That means they snuck him on the ship. When the Minnesota is well out to sea, I take Stubby out onto the deck. The sailors now think Stubby is the official mascot of our regiment, and I teach him to salute the ship's officers. Stubby loves standing right at the bow of the ship to feel the wind through his whiskers. After many days at sea, we land on the distant horizon. I feel a mixture of relief and fear. Relief to see dry land at last, but fear because it is a land at war. War is a time when people don't get along. Things are getting serious. We have changed our soft hats for steel helmets. Soon we are marching again through towns and villages, cheered on by cheered on our way by the local people. Stubby always gets the loudest cheers, especially from the children, and he is never short of tasting tidbits. After 2 days of marching, we hear the thunder of distant guns. The villages here are deserted and in ruins because of the war and people not getting along. Now we are living in a world of mud, stuck in trenches for weeks, slowly moving forward, pushing the enemy back. Dogs can hear better than humans, so Stubby becomes a very good guard dog, warning us of approaching enemy soldiers. One night he finds an enemy soldier spying on us, catches him by the seat of his pants, and won't let him go. Often Stubby's amazing sense of smell warns us of poison gas attacks. We all put on our gas masks, and Stubby's too. He has become an important member of our company. At night we try to sleep in muddy trenches. It is cold, and Stubby and I snuggle to get warm, but we cannot sleep. All night long, the sky is lit up by thunderstorms of gunfire. At dawn, an officer blows a whistle. We clamber out for safety of our trench and charge towards the enemy guns. I tell Stubby to stay safe in the trench, but he follows me anyway. Bullets are zipping and whistling around us. I see some of our friends fall into the sea of mud. And that's a very sad part of what happens in war. People get hurt. A deafening bang and a flash knocked me off my feet. The whole world seems to turn over. I see Stubby up in the air flying. He's off to heaven, I think. Then with a spud, he thuds back down into the thick mud. Oh no. I crawl towards him. He is covered in mud and blood, his eyes full of pain, looking at me. I'm sorry, old friend. I'm sorry I brought you to this stupid war. I wrap him up in my jacket, and I carry him back to the trench. Army doctors take him and gently from me and bandage him up just like the other wounded soldiers. He is placed carefully into an ambulance with the other wounded and driven away. Will I ever see him again? We hear he has been very popular in the hospital, limping around between beds, saluting the wounded soldiers. After 6 long weeks of terrible fighting, we are all cheered up by the return of Stubby. When we drive the enemy out of a nearby town, some of the local ladies make Stubby an army jacket, complete with badges and medals, his name stitched into it. He looks so smart that even the officers salute him. At the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month, 1918, a peace is declared. The war is over. Soldiers from both sides lay down their guns and climb out of their trenches. Winners or losers, we were all survivors. The enemies are young men like us, and we all just want to go home. This time, we don't need to hide Stubby. When we climb aboard the troop ship to cross the ocean, he is a hero. When we get back home, Stubby is given a position of honor at the front of a great victory parade. Bands are playing and the streets are crowded with thousands of people waving flags and cheering. Peace is wonderful, but peace and quiet will be even better. I am so thankful this little stray dog found me. The end. What a wonderful story. It's also a wonderful reminder that we have men and women that are fighting for our freedoms all across the world for us, especially in this time in our world. So just a time to be very thankful for everybody that is out there doing all good things for us. So Stubby, a true story of friendship. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thank you.